obviously a big matchup personally for you. What do you expect out of yourself and what you're going to face?
I think got a good opponent ahead of me and excited to scrap. And I think, I look forward to big matches. So this will be a good one. Last time I had a big match at Humboldt, it went pretty well. So hopefully it goes the same.
How excited are you to go back to Humboldt?
Super cool. I love the Humboldt people. I think they have the record for season tickets. And so I heard that when they put this event out again, it's sold out in within hours. And so I know how excited the Humboldt people are. I know how excited the fan base is. And so it's one of my favorite places to wrestle, and it'd be one of my last times wrestling there. So it's going to be fun.
Talk about the way the atmosphere feels wrestling in it.
It's loud. It feels like the fans are on top of you. They're super close. And it's a feel that you don't get too often, where their fans are so close. They're so loud. It's so passionate. It's definitely something special, and it's cool to go back to Dresser's old stomping grounds. So.
Is that probably one of your more fun environments when you have something that's that tight in, maybe versus when you go to the NCAA championships and you have a large venue? Do you like that more in tight setting, or?
I do like it because it's really it's hard to describe. It kind of gives me the high school feel, but louder and more intense, and it has I don't know. It's like the fans are really passionate. You can really feel it. You can really feel their support when they clap, when they yell for you. And it's cool to have a huge fan base on your side.
Does it impact the way you perform at all? Not in that you do necessarily better, but does it, I guess, impact in a different way?
I mean, I definitely want to wrestle harder when I have fans that are taking time out of the day to cheer and they cramp themselves in a little gym. Little gym is everything. It's hot in there. It's loud. It's pretty crazy. So when I go there, I want to try to perform my best.
Is there anything you're doing differently physically and or mentally in this last final grind toward another march?
I've definitely switched some things up. I've definitely changed a few things. Usually I wrestle during the summer, a lot of freestyle this summer. I took time to just get stronger in the weight room with Durbin, and for my body to just make sure everything's healthy and strong this season, and different training, a lot of extra things that I've added and focused on different nutritional things. So I really want to be locked in every facet of my life. The air's thin at the top, and so I want to make sure I'm very prepared. So,
is it difficult to make those changes and to have that reflection? Because normally you are a guy that wrestles in the summer, you wrestle year round. Is it hard to take a step back and focus on the things that are going to make you successful later?
Yeah, it was hard because I love competing, and I find value in competing often and a lot. But I think we sat down with some of the coaches, me and my dad, and we just thought it'd be good for me to just focus on getting better at wrestling and getting strong as I possibly can. And so those were the focus, and then also tweaking some nutrition, tweaking a lot of different things that will help me down the road and right now.
How do you tweak the nutrition, Sarah? Do you change when you eat, what you eat? Any examples?
I tweaked a lot of stuff just with Nicole, our nutritionist, but pretty much the main message is probably just less gummy bears. So
Not more veggies?
Yeah, more veggies, less gummy bears. So that was pretty much the message, and I've been sticking to that.
How excited are you for this next test for your team to have an opponent like Wisconsin?
I mean, we have a great schedule. We have a lot of tough tests. Obviously, Wisconsin has a lot of great competitors on their team. They have a great coaching staff, and so for us, we're a young team. You're seeing a lot of new guys. They work very hard, but I think this is something that when you get a team like this, you want to make sure you're ready to go. And that's what our coaches are making sure we're doing. We're making sure we're ready to go, and we're ready to wrestle a tough team. So
you had two homecoming-like matches back-to-back, but then go into your high school and then against Davidson, obviously all the connections there. I mean, how do you now, after that, you have all these big emotional kind of days now come back and just center on yourself a little bit again?
Now, yeah, definitely a lot of memorable moments with my brother and going back to my high school. Now I'm just, nose to the grindstone, just working hard and focusing on each match. Every match is the most important match. And so this match is the next biggest match. After that, I will be the biggest match, and then keep going on for the rest of the season.
How have you seen the new rule change, the 3-point takedown, change how matches get wrestled? Because now, get a takedown, 3 points, release, takedown, suddenly you're really close to bonus point territory. How much mental toughness? We can see the separation of it physically and technically, right, when you get there, but mentally to stay in a match if you're down a little bit or if you're up quite a bit. Have you seen it change how you mentally wrestle a match, the 3-point takedown?
Takedowns, it gives a big emphasis of just wrestling good on your feet, and I think it also speeds up the wrestling as far as like you can really get bonus now for your team if you get a few takedowns. It really changes up the atmosphere of the scoring. I like it a lot. I'm still getting used to the scoring and how some of the rule changes, but so far I think it's been fantastic for the sport. You see more scoring, you see more action, and it looks like a lot of fun.
You said back at media day you had still ever having a hard time telling Evan and Jacob apart. You gotten any better at that over the last couple of weeks?
I've gotten a little bit better. I let them a little bit better. They do. The thing is, they are pretty much always together. They wear like basically the same things to cut weight, and they eat the same stuff. So I'm like, if I see them doing stuff, I really have to like focus in on a lot of different things to try to help me. I've gotten a lot better. Usually I can just tell from their shoes apart, to be honest. I mean, they usually, one wears different shoes. One wears a red Croc, one wears a blue Croc. Jacob wears the red Croc. He's across from me in my locker, and I see him a little bit more, and he's a little bigger, so it's not too bad to figure it out.
Describe the energy in the room when you guys are practicing, as guys are really working towards getting those starting spots, really in those lower weights. What's that been like from your perspective?
Really good. I think a lot of resilience, a lot of toughness with the wrestle-offs. Especially our coach Drescher, he's had like 7-something wrestle-offs, and he's had his wrestle-offs where he's lost, and he's had them where he's won. I think it took him 8 semesters in college before he started and got in the lineup. But when he did, he was an All-American national champ. So that's kind of the message to some of the guys that, hey, even though you're not the starter right now, we're going to have wrestle-offs. Keep your weight down, stay disciplined, and the guys have been doing a great job with that. And we'll see a few wrestle-offs this week, and it'll be exciting to see who comes out.
Younger told us a story about when you guys met in 2019. Talk to us about that day when you guys met, when you talked to each other using the translator. Walk us through what that was like.
Yeah, so that was cool. So pretty much my freshman year, I went to Cuba for a tournament, and I had watched him wrestle. And I was watching Kyvan, but he was wrestling Kyvan. He beat Kyvan. I was like, who the heck is this guy? And then one of the guys was just saying, like, this guy's a young guy. He's going to be a talent for Cuba. And then I saw him later that year at the Junior World Championships. I was watching him wrestle because I think he might have been the only Cuban or maybe one other guy. And I was like, this guy's really good. He had gotten second. And I remember I had saw him. I was like, dude, I got to talk to this guy, tell him congrats and everything. Used the translator. I was like, all right, let's get a quick picture. And then crazy, a few years later, now he's on the team. We're teammates and we're like brothers. So it's crazy.
How exciting is it to, you meet him, you think he's talented enough that you go ask for a picture, and now he's on your team. How exciting was it for you when you found out he was coming?
Oh, super pumped. I even told the coach, I was like, I remember watching him and being like, this guy's a freak of nature. He's like picking dudes up, throwing them off the stage and stuff. I'm like, this guy's an animal. I don't just take pictures with anybody. I was watching him wrestle. I was like, this guy's, he's a problem. And now he's our Cuban problem. So it's good to have him on our team, and he has a good positive energy, and he's fun to watch, and I love being around him.